that leader has opposed the things that nurses and teachers care most about. So let's not take any lessons from that guy.
Goes from screaming and waving his arms around erratically when I mention the carbon tax to bragging about a program that doesn't even exist. His multi-million-dollar school food program hasn't served a single ham sandwich, a single little bowl of Kraft Dinner, not one meal to one child. It exists to feed bureaucracy in Ottawa, not kids in schools.
He's going to have to look in the eyes of seniors and tell them what he's going to do to dental care. He's going to have to look in the eyes of diabetes patients and say what he's going to do with their diabetes medication. At some time, the vitriol's done and the truth comes.
Speaker, I understand that when that member thinks of the prospect of a carbon tax election, he comes unglued and becomes very rattled and loses control of himself, waving his hands around because he's desperate to quadruple the carbon tax to 61 cents a litre. He's desperate to push a government takeover that will shut down people's private drug plans and ban them from having access to their medical plans. Common sense conservatives will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime, and protect your drug plan. How about that?
Speaker, we know the Conservatives know how to count to 6, so let me explain to them. There's not been one report, there's not been 2 reports, there's not been 3 reports, there's been 4 independent reports, Mr. Speaker, to go to the bottom of the opposition
and his minions are sharing their blatant observation and favoritism towards authoritarian tactics in this House.
Speaker, I suspect that, like me, you have noticed that the leader of the opposition is particularly full of shameless slogans today.
I'd like to remind the Right Honourable Prime Minister and all members of this House that this is not an avenue where we want to go down. It can easily get out of control, and I would suggest that we don't go that close to the line. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, every time I mention a carbon tax election, he becomes so panicked and erratic that he loses control of himself and starts spitting out incomprehensible insults. When Canadians deserve us focusing on them.
They want control over judicial processes in their details. The reality is, Mr. Speaker, that's banana republic-style behavior that the Conservative Party is pushing.
You, Mr. Speaker, have said that this Prime Minister is violating the rules of the House.
Alabama has the 3rd lowest life expectancy in the United States. Did you know that the life expectancy in Alabama is a full decade lower than in Canada? Did you know that in Alabama they have some of the most restrictive rules around a woman getting access to an abortion or contraceptives? Is that what they admire about Alabama? Is that why they're talking about upping Alabama's and saying that Alabama is better than Canada? I wonder why they're so interested in Alabama, Mr. Speaker.
We've been hearing about unhinged responses today, and there's one.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw the comment about defecating. I certainly, using the word crap